The more engaged we keep our audience, the more we'll be able to earn. But we can't do the same things forever. Novelty wears off. They'll demand more and we'll be helpless. We'll be hypnotized by our greed. Eventually, we'll have to give in and give them what they want. Do you know what they want? For it to be real. This is what we are dealing with. This is our society. I have no idea if I'm spelling this out right or pronouncing it right, but English is not my first language, which shouldn't be an excuse, but today it's gonna be. How does the elite influence the underdog? Who do people who like to use other people actually use? The people below them or the people above them? This is the third part of my commentary and analysis of the insane show called The 8 Show. It's a Korean drama, and this is basically the gist of this show. There are contestants living on each floor, and they're kind of representation of a certain class in society. Now, there was a lot of commentary already made in part number 1 and part number 2, which I think is pretty interesting. Like, for example, how the lower levels need to put up with shit of the upper level and how we just accept it. But if you know the show or if you already watched the 2 videos, let's get into it. As a refresher, all of these contestants, so the 8 contestants in the show, were willing to give up on their life. This mysterious show is offering them to, instead of giving up that time, why don't you give it to the show? And the time you spend in the show, you are gonna make some money, some ka-ching. Each minute, you earn a certain amount. So obviously, all of them want to stay in the show as long as possible. And one of the ways of how they were earning the time to stay in the show was to run up and down the stairs, the 8 floors. The more you work, the more time you get, and the more money you're gonna earn. We see all of them start running the stairs again, but this time they seem a little bit annoyed. The timer is not going up, or at least it's not going up as much as it did before. What's happening? Is running not working anymore? Is this thing broken? Does this point at the relentless effort we keep on putting into work? But each time the rewards we are getting out don't seem to actually make a difference. The prices go up while the salaries stay low. You take loans to fund your education. That doctor position, that lawyer position, it's gonna make me so much money, this loan won't even matter. But what about if it's not that easy to get a job anymore? What about if today there are more people who have the lawyer education and there is not enough jobs to provide for all of them? Or what about if they get a job, but that salary isn't as high as it used to be? Today, that salary is barely allowing them to get by. But what are you supposed to do? Quit? No. You go back on those stairs and run. Number 8 has had it, though. She's like, no, I am not doing this anymore. I've been running up and down and the time is not moving as it used to, so I'm out. Okay, this is not for me. Here's the thing. Number 8 can't afford to say that. Number 8 is the one who earns the most. But because she's earning the most, number 2 has an issue of her being the one who says that she's not gonna run anymore. Bis what? What are we talking about here? Number 2 has some common sense for number 8. Listen, lady, you are earning the most amount of money here. Shouldn't you be the one who would run the most? Who would be the last one to stop working? Isn't number 2 cute? You see, number 8 is earning the most. Number 8's time is much more valuable than number 2's time. You see, every time they use the shared time, the time that it's meant for all of them to buy the necessities, because lower floors can't afford it with the amount of money that they're getting, the higher floors, or number 8 in this case, is losing much more than number 2. Is this wacko actually right? Number 3 is a bit confused. What is she actually saying? Okay, let me get this straight. An hour of time is worth for number 2 around 1 million won. But for number 8, an hour of time is worth around 20 million won, which means that every time we take, for example, 15 minutes to buy the toilet paper, while number 1 is losing a couple of 100,000 wons, number 8 is losing a couple of million wons. Damn it. Lower floors should be working more. Our time is less valuable. That's how it is at the end of the day, right? Those who earn more think that their time is more valuable because I'm making more money. So why shouldn't I just opt out of the work that I don't want to do? Okay? It's not my problem that you're not making enough. Okay? It's not my problem that you need to have 3 jobs and do all of this shit. An hour of my work compared to an hour of your work doesn't matter if, it was by chance that you got born into wealth or that opportunities help you get to this kind of level. What matters now is that I'm not going to spend an hour of my work washing the dishes when I can hire someone to do that, while I myself can spend that time to write another course. It does show how time and effort are valued differently based on where you are on the scale, right? Where you are on this ladder. For her, earning, 20 million an hour, she's not going to spend that hour washing dishes. For the underdog, earning less than 500,000 per hour, yes, washing dishes will be totally okay as long as I can even earn any money. When you have this kind of structure, it's very easy that the lower you are, not only are you making less and living worse, but your time is less valued because the upper levels, with already having everything that they need to have or want to have, even the time and effort becomes more valuable. Their life at the end of the day becomes more valuable just because of the difference in the economics. It is kind of fucked up, isn't it? But we're all living in this. We're just not really seeing it. Number 8 is opt out. She's a top earner. She's not going to do this anymore. They're running up and down. At this point, it's nighttime and they are exhausted. But the freaking timer is not going up. It's just going down. It's just spending the time that they are there and there is no extra money for running up and down the stairs. Ding! 20 minutes go up. It's okay. It's a glitch. Let's not worry. Maybe there's just some kind of delay. It's still working. Let's run a little bit more and then let's go to bed. It will probably update with all the time that we've been running up and down later in the night. Number 7 is suspicious though. There's something wrong. Something is not adding up. Oh my God, everyone get out now. Number 5 is yelling in the morning. There is only 30 minutes left on the timer. There was no time increase. They didn't get anything for their running. Let me remind you, when the time runs out, the show is done, which means also their opportunity to earn more money is closed. They all storm out and they start running up and down the stairs. But the time is not moving. Nothing is happening. And number 4 collapses. She starts shaking and foaming at her mouth. Oh my God, what is happening? Number 4 has a seizure. You see, number 5 was a nurse, so she kind of understood the symptoms. She yells what kind of medicine do they need, and number 2 starts running to the common intercom to order medicine with the 30 minutes left. But number 6 stops her because, Biz, what do you think you are doing? If you order medicine now, we are out of time. The show ends. It's a seizure. She's gonna survive it. She's not gonna die. Number 5 reminds them that the longer the seizure goes, the most likely it is that she will have brain damage, permanent brain damage. It's clear. We need to prioritize her health. The fuck with the show. Number 2 starts walking to the intercom again, and number 6 launches at her trying to stop her. Number 3 and number 7 jump at number 6, trying to pull him away from number 2 so she can go and order the freaking medicine. This is so good. Number 8 is cracking up. Haven't you noticed? the time went up. They all stop for a second. They look at the timer and there it is. 40 hours on the timer. What? What just happened? Number 7 looks around and he gets it. What's a show if it's not entertaining? The elevator comes down, it opens, and there's medicine for number 4. Now, what kind of social commentary do we have here? What is the show pointing at? Come on, I'm taking bets. You can write down in the comments what do you think is happening, or what is the critique that we are seeing right now? Well, when there is a competitive environment, or even when we are struggling to survive, do we prioritize resources over human life? I mean, in this case, number 6 was evidently willing to let number 4 go through her medical stuff, whatever she's gonna survive. It's okay, as long as we don't lose the time to make more money, as long as I don't lose the opportunity to make more money. Are there examples in today's society where we see that happening? Are there working conditions where safety is not a priority? I mean, how many of you came across the fast fashion, the Temu and Shein, and the shit show around that? Are we prioritizing material gains over human life? What about the whole healthcare system? It's all about the money and the insurances rather than helping people. And how many people end up suffering from addiction just to make that sweet, sweet coin? What about the whole AI thing? Once upon a time, YouTube was a place where I would click on it and just see a random, everyday girl talking about how she does her eyebrows. And it helped me figure out how to do my eyebrows. Have I lost half of eyebrows because of that? Maybe. Today, I'm seeing courses about how to make an automated YouTube channel. I even saw some of those channels, and those videos are ranking up like thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And that's like on the entertainment scale or level. But think about all the factories that are substituting people with robots and more automated ways of producing things. It lowers the costs and blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, how will people make money to survive? Which one is actually more important? On the other hand, the show did show that there is hope. There is a basis, or the fundamental nature of people, or most of the people, is to try to help the person that you see is struggling. If they're close enough, if they're right there in front of you. Otherwise, you're like, I don't see anything with my Gucci bag. It does potentially point at a core desire or tendency to actually help another human being rather than prioritize material gain, which can inspire us that despite, materialism and financial success being very important, that we can do better. We can focus on what is actually important. Number 6, though, does remind us that there are people who prioritize their own well-being and individual interest, self-interest. What can I gain? Or will my gains be affected if I help you? There are some other out there that we need to, pay attention to, okay? Don't ignore it. What about the unexpected 40 hours gained? Well, isn't it entertaining when people are in conflict? Isn't that the point of reality TVs and shows? As long as there's drama, there's gonna be our eyes glued to it. Except for you, Mary, I know you are perfect. You only watch good stuff, right? You're following the guy that posts only what's the positive things happening in this world. Yes, I also came across his reels, right? Follow me if you want to see what is good happening in the world. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, there's too much negativity. I want to be inspired. I want to promote good things in life. So I follow the guy. And now every time I just scroll by because I'm not really interested. Yes, okay, I have problems. You too, I know. You know what? First step is admitting. Then somehow we get stuck at that step. And as much as I don't want to admit it, the popularity of true crime speaks for itself. It started way back then, okay? Discovery Investigation, ID Discovery. Have you watched that? It's a whole freaking program made of shows showing how a certain crime happened. And today we have it also on YouTube. As much as we pretend that we are not contributing to it, when you're putting that true crime story to make you fall asleep, you are participating in the profit being made from others people's suffering. Now, of course, there is also psychological aspect to it. I've tried to understand a bit better why are specifically women interested in watching and getting like this kind of comfort from watching these shows and commentary, and I'm one of them 100%. And it is because apparently it does give you a sense of safety. It's almost like experience something from afar, hearing about the danger, but then being still safe, right? In your safety zone. But apart from that, entertainment does exploit others people's suffering. And the 40 extra hours gained is because of that sweet, sweet drama between a person having a seizure and others fighting should they help her or not. Ka-ching. Number 7 is standing at the table all of them stood at. You can pick a card, or you can take the money and not enter the show. He's reading the rules and looks at the stack of cards. He picks number 7. We don't see if number 8 is available, but the rest of the cards seem to be available. He's wearing a suit. I would say a bit more fancy than the normal white collar suit. His suit is more like CEO or like higher levels type of suit. It's the suit that it's not only a suit for being a suit, but it's more of a stylish suit, a bit more fashionable. The way he carries himself is obvious that he's running in the upper circles. He enters the show and he goes to floor number 1. He tries his card, but it's not working. I guess this is how things are. My card, the number I selected, number 7, is the floor I am at. We already established that he's a brainy, okay? He enters the room and his approach is very systematic. The goal is simple. Figure out how this show is working. Based on the time he spent there, he figures out how much he is earning per minute. He also buys a pen. Now, his decisions are very quick. While number 3 figured out how much things cost based on what he was needing and ordering, and that giving him the price, number 7 seems to have a clear reason behind ordering a pen that cost 1,000 won. By getting a pen with a specific price tag, he can quickly understand how much do things cost in here. You see, number 7 seems to be all about logic. His whole approach is very intentional. Now, putting things together, him being in a nice suit when entering the show, thinking very intentionally, almost strategically, does point at how some people, potentially in power, have the leverage to think long term, have the leverage to approach things with a little bit more strategy. Number 4 finally gets her medicine. And as everyone is sitting in the common area, it is clear. The more they're gonna entertain the people who are watching the show, the more time they can be there, meaning they can earn more money. Getting time by running the stairs was not about running the stairs. It was not about the work they were doing. It was about the entertainment they were providing. You see, people who were watching were thinking, look at these bamboos running up and down the stairs, trying to get more time to earn more money. Pathetic. What got them the time was when number 1 couldn't run up and down. When number 6 was threatening number 1 and make him suffer even more. When number 3 was starving when he worked the double shift and only ate one time. Those were the things that were earning them time, aka money. Those are the things that make for good TV. Number 3 is back in his room and he is pissed. Okay, entertainment. That's what you want me to do? You want me to dance like a monkey here and trying to entertain you? Oh, I'm gonna show you entertainment. He takes his meal kit, he puts a chair next to the camera and he says, hey everyone, today we are gonna do a mukbang. Wait, it's gonna be better if I pair it with ASMR. today we're gonna do a mukbang. I mean, to be fair, who doesn't love a good mukbang, right? Watch people eating, let them even tell a good story, and I am sold. But there's a knock on the door. It's number 7. He looks at him a little bit like, what the F are you doing? But probably he also gets it. I mean, the mukbangers are making money. Number 7 tells number 3 that no time is changing. So I guess mukbang is not working. They share a smoke and they are basically praising each other. Number 7 sees number 3 as special. He's a good guy. He helped number 1 when he needed it. While number 3 is praising number 7. Look, man, you never sent your shit down to number 1, which I could never do. You are far less selfish than I am. They're hyping each other up for whatever reason, but we all know that when you feel like you're doing good, you feel special. Knowing that number 7 does things intentionally, I wouldn't say that this little praise of number 3 is that innocent, but we'll see. Number 3 is happy that they won't have to run anymore. I mean, it's better to just entertain. You just need to be funny and that's it. But number 7 is a bit more worried. You see, entertainment has levels. Yes, you can make people laugh. But what about when the laughter is not enough anymore? How long does it take for people to crave more dangerous things? How long before people start craving violence to be entertained? You see, according to number 7, so far it's been up to them. Like the showrunners didn't really interfere much. They let them do whatever they wanted to do, and based on that, they were giving them more time and more opportunity to earn more money. It's like a streamer or an influencer. You do something, people like to watch you, and the more they watch you, the more you earn. But you can't keep on doing the same things all the time because people want new things. People get bored. They want something different. They want something more. And because you are now hypnotized by the amount that you are getting, the greed will take over. We will have to give in and we will have to give them what they really crave. And what they crave is for it to be real. The more time they spend there, what will be entertaining will be more demanding. Eventually, what will be entertaining is edgy, provocative, violent. So they need to start small. They need to influence others to start small because in any case, it will increase. So right now, number 7 agrees that being funny is the way to go. Let's bring all on board to be funny. Because the longer we can play it safe, the longer we can stay away from the type of entertainment they are actually craving. The whole escalation of entertainment thing also points at how, the entertainment industry and the capitalism always wants more, more, more. It's never enough. There's no limit. There's constant pressure to innovate, to do more, to make more, Everything is going according to plan. The rest of the contestants agree that they can start with doing a talent show. Each person can come up with a talent they have and they can kind of, showcase it, entertain it, perform. Number 7 decides to go first. He has a special talent. He can play flute through his nose. I mean, this guy, not only is he smart, strategic, and, composed, he moves like he knows what he's doing, he also can play a freaking flute through his nose. Some people are just born with it, huh? Luckily, the rest of us can use mascara. People are amazed and it is working. They are ranking up those hours. But it's the end of the day and they will continue tomorrow. The rest of the contestants have time to think about what they want to do and just do it. Side note, isn't it interesting how number 7 was already prepared to do the talent show? It is as though he predicted it. It is as though he is kind of running a little bit the show. Maybe the coming up with the talent show wasn't so much the other people's idea or number 3's idea as much as it was number 7's idea. But before they all call it a night, there is one matter that they need to agree on. How long are they going to play the game? When will they stop making time or getting more time and just let the show run out? No one really wants to say anything. Everyone feels a little bit hesitant to decide, when should we stop this? When will be enough? But they decide that the one who should call or decide when it's enough is the one who earns the least. It is the underdog. It is number one. That's fair, right? As much money as he needs, they should stay in the game for that long. Number one says that he needs to earn 1 billion won before he can leave this show. Everyone is calculating in their mind. You see, everyone is earning more than number one. So if he's earning 1 billion, number two is earning more, three even more, blah, blah, blah. People are happy. A quick calculation, and number four says that roughly they will need another 2.5 months to earn that money for number one to earn 1 billion won. And they all agree. Who's gonna say no to that much money? Who would want to leave sooner? It is the next day and it is time for the rest of the people to do their talent show and bring in the minutes, the hours. Number 2 and number 6 do a strength talent show. But as much as number 6 wows the crowd with how strong he is, number 2 makes it a step higher. She not only does what number 6 does, but she also does 2 extra kicks. She does hurt her arm, it looks like, but number 3 is the only one who notices. They bring in more than 10 hours each. Number 5 sings a song, and number 4 attempts to yodel. Yodel? You know, yodeleri, yodeleri, yoo-hoo-hoo. I tried. They both bring collectively around 3 hours. Not the best. It's time for number 3 to step up. But here's the thing. He hates this. Look, number 3 does not have a talent. His whole mission in life was to blend in, to not stick out. That's why he never developed any talent or any skills. He just wants to live in the background. He's trying to figure out when should he, volunteer to do this talent show. Should he do now? Should he wait a little bit more? But you know what? It's mid of the talent show. No one remembers the middle people. So he's just gonna do it now. And boy, does he do it. He busts some moves. And he does exactly as good as I did it just now, okay? His talent sucks. He brings in 18 minutes. The worst of everyone. But here's the thing. There's still number 1 to go up on the stage. And number 3 is trying to encourage number 1. You know what? Look, once you get over it, it's okay. Don't be scared, just go. Something tells me that number 3 expects number 1 to do very poorly. It looks like he is judging the book by its cover. I mean, number 1 is disabled. He is making the least money. He is living in this small room. And somehow this is who he is, even though this is a show. It's interesting how they all start behaving or treating each other based on where are they living. Even though this is a show. How ingrained in us is the system that we are living in? Can we ever really escape it, or we are conditioned just a little bit too much? Number 1 steps on the stage and he nails it. You see, number 1 is a clown on the outside. He's a performer. He does an amazing, fun performer of, pantomime or mime. How do you say it? I think you say mime. He makes everyone laugh, and there is also like a magic at the end, and he brings in more than 30 hours. A success. Number 3 is like, what? This guy, why was he pretending that he doesn't have a talent? What, was he pretending, or were you judging the book by its cover? But there is another person that still hasn't done their talent. It's number 8. But number 8 doesn't want to do it in front of everyone. Can she do it in her room? Or does everyone need to see it? Number 7 is thinking, and probably you don't need to do it here. I mean, they have cameras everywhere. The point is to entertain them, not to entertain us. Do you want to join me up in the bed? Number 7 is a little bit flustered, and he's like, excuse me, what? The rest are as perplexed. Like, what do you mean? What kind of... What kind of talent show is this? But number 8 has a point. You see, a talent show is to showcase what you are good at. And she is very good in bed. No one does it like she does. Number 7 composes himself and he politely rejects. Number 8 is a little bit saddened by that or disappointed, but no biggie, she's gonna choose someone else. She starts walking around and number 3 seems to be kind of ready to, it is awkward, but will she pick me? It's almost like he wants to be picked. He wants to be picked by this beautiful woman to have sex with him. But will a commoner be picked? No, he's not the right type. Who is the right type is number 6. Number 6 and number 8 go to her room and the time goes up by 70 hours. I guess sex is the most entertaining. The talent show has ended and they've brought in another 5 days to this show. It was a success. Number 1, though, has a question. You see, now, when they don't have to run anymore to bring in the time, maybe he doesn't have to store the shit anymore. You see, before, because they were running and he is disabled, his proposal was to store their shit. That's his contribution. But right now, no one is running. So why would I contribute in this way? Furthermore, I just contributed quite a lot with the talent that I have. Everyone is a little bit, they freeze for a second. Because, on one hand, it's like, what? You're not going to store my shit anymore? On the other hand, it's like, it makes sense. It's fair. Of course, you shouldn't store the shit anymore. Though number 4 is a little bit more, she doesn't want to say, okay, let's just take our own shit back. She proposes a game. What about if we play a game and then we will see and decide who should be the next person to store shit? Not only that, let's make that person's room a toilet, a bathroom. Why should we play a game? Let's just vote. Yes, number 6 proposes a more democratic approach. They're all gonna vote. And whoever gets the most votes will be the person whose room will become toilet for everyone. Number 3 is a bit hesitant though. You see, he knows that people will just vote for the person who did the worst in the talent show, which was number 3. And he's also confused that number 4 is up for voting. I mean, she's the second worst person in the talent show. So it's gonna be between the two of them. What is she even thinking? Who is gonna vote for who? Let the negotiations begin. Number 3 and number 7 are again in his room, and number 3 is worried. He's like, look, man, people are just gonna pick me because I did the worst in this show. But number 7 sees the whole situation a little bit differently. According to him, everything will go by the broken window theory. When a place is already filthy or damaged, it is much easier on the human psyche to make it even more messier than to actually clean it. According to number 7, everyone will just vote number 1 again. His room is already room full of shit, so let's just keep it as it is. So at the end of the day, it won't really be a vote per se, but more of a formality for number 1 to accept his reality. Outside the rooms, number 4 is making her own waves. But how did number 4 enter this game? We see number 4 entering the show and standing in front of the table as everyone else did. A stack of money, an envelope, and numbered cards. She picks the envelope, she reads what the show is about, but she sucks at making decisions. Which card is she supposed to choose? She's looking at the cards, she's kind of thinking, and then she's like, She picks number 8. She takes card number 8 and she walks into the show. But she quickly returns. She's going to switch it. She's going to take number 4. She gets into her room and similar to number 3, she's kind of shocked, first of all, by the amount of money she's making, but also by the prices that this place is, having. For a freaking blanket, they want half of her earnings. But she settles for a couple of things: a sleeping bag, a pen, and sticky notes. Shivering from cold with tears in her eyes, she writes on a sticky note, "If there is time to eat, there is time to set your mind. If I set my mind 3 times per day, as I'm eating 3 times per day, my life will change. I got this. Let's go. We have an affirmation girly here. Just set your mind to it and things will change. But now she needs to make sure that her room is not going to become toilet, okay? So she starts with number 5. She tries to play the same kind of logic than number 7. Let's just keep the status quo. Number 1 already has shit in his room, so why don't we just keep it simple? Why do we need to change things where we can just keep it as it is? Let's vote for number 1. But number 5 doesn't have the heart to do it. She feels it's totally unfair. He has the smallest room and he did it so far. So number 4 gives up on trying to convince number 5. She walks up to number 1. She knocks on the door, but there's no one in. Hey, number 1 is behind her back. Number 1, what are you doing outside? Oh, it's very difficult to stay in there because there's a strong smell and I just then rather spend my time outside until I have to go in. Now, this surprisingly makes number 4 feel a little bit bad. I mean, she now sees that number 1 is literally standing outside his room, not even using his room because it is so small and it's storing all this shit that it's basically not livable anymore for him, which makes her change her tune. We see her knocking at number 3's door and she's surprised that number 7 is in. She starts talking with them and she is suggesting that they should vote for number 8. At the end of the day, she has the biggest room, so she will be the least impacted. Also, this is all noblesse oblige. I hope I said that correctly. Those who are at the top have a responsibility and owe it to those at the bottom. It's not only that you're earning more, that you're living better, but you do have responsibility to the rest of the society. So number 8 should take that responsibility. She has the most space in her room, so she should store the shit. She also lets them know that she talked to number 1 and she feels like he would vote for number 8. He didn't outright say it, but she got a vibe from it. Number 2 told her to get lost. She didn't want to talk to her, while number 5 is a little bit too nice. She can't really count on her. But if number 3 and number 7 also vote for number 8, then the 4 of them should be fine. There's a knock on the door. Number 6 is looking for number 7. He asks him to come out and number 6 tries to convince number 7 to vote for number 3. You see, first of all, number 3 did the worst in the talent show. He's kind of, the middle, so kind of makes sense. And second of all, the higher levels should stick together. It serves you to have good relations with those who are on top. Who is number 7 gonna vote for? Is he gonna stick with his friend number 3 and vote for number 8? Or is he gonna flip the sides? What will his strategic approach make him do? It's time to vote. Everyone gives their votes in, and number 7 is picking one by one out, trying to count whose room is gonna be the new toilet. There is a tie. Number 3 and number 8 have the same amount of votes, but there is one vote left. The final vote, which will determine whose room is going to be the new toilet, is number 8. Number 3 is relaxed, happy. So is number 4. They both squeak, but they kind of calm down quickly. And to everyone's surprise, also number 8 looks very happy. She is excited because she never won a vote. Yay! The rest of the people are like, does she know that her room is now a toilet? But they quickly turn and start clapping and cheering together with her. Yay! She won! After the voting, number 3 is suspicious. I mean, he did expect number 8 and number 6 to vote for him. But where did the third vote come from? He tries to talk to number 7 about it, but number 7 is very dismissive. It's done. It's passed. You don't need to worry about it. Of course, it serves number 7 for number 3 to not worry about it because number 7 did vote for number 3. Number 7 sided with 6 and 8 and went against his friend. Foul play or strategical thinking. I personally cannot get over the fact that number 7 makes intentional choices from the get-go. He also makes choices that keep peace as much as possible. He doesn't seem to be greedy, nor is he desperate. So looking from that lens, I would say that number 7 did what makes the most sense for him to not be impacted in any way. He probably knew that there will be more votes for number 8, but he also knew that there won't be enough votes for number 3, meaning he will automatically become their enemy. He still reassures that his friend doesn't get effed up, but at the same time, he reassures that number 8 and number 6 don't become his enemies. Despite him being number 7, you see, number 8 is the top dog in this case. But number 6, though below number 7, is still a stronger player. Him knowing that things can turn violent, it's not the best choice to have the strongest person against you. What do you think? Does that make sense? Or was his decision more in he's just playing pretend to be friends with number 3? He's not actually friend. But thinking even like that, I would still believe that he's not really friends with anyone. I think he's just the type of person who is making sure that he doesn't get the short end of the stick, at least at this point, while still kind of keeping peace. There you have it, people. Number 8's room is gonna be the new toilet. Not a chance. What do you mean, not a chance? We voted for you. Number 4 is standing next to number 8, who refuses to give number 4 the keys to her room to use it as a toilet. Number 5 runs to number 8 and she's like, "Oh, number 8, I'm so sorry. Maybe you didn't really understand what was the game or what was the voting that we did. You know how happy you were when you won the vote? Well, we voted for your room to be the toilet. It's not fair anymore that number 1 has it. So that was the decision. We agreed all together and you were happy about it." Number 8 stands up and she goes to her room and locks it behind her. While most of the contestants are sure that she's going to change her mind, like it's a big change for her, so she just needs some time, number 6 and number 7 are much more realistic. And they also tell the others to stop being so naive. The rest are still confused. What do you mean naive? But they'll find out sooner than later. If this is the democracy that they think it is, or does one person hold most of the power? It's been 2 full days without food and water. Today is day number 3. And number 3 remembers that the human body can survive 3 days without water. This is it. This is the last day. If he doesn't get water today, if they don't get water today, they're gonna die. Number 4 is kneeling in front of the number 8's door. She's apologizing and she's begging her to give them food, give them water. They're sorry that they voted her for the toilet. Number 8 had them in their palms. Being on the top floor, she was the one who received all the food and water, and it was on her to send that food and water to the lower floors. So now she had the power to starve them to death. And on top of that, she kind of has fun with it. It's kind of amusing how she's, taking the water and the food and just sending them down empty boxes. Hungry much? Not only is she being entertained, but starving everyone, watching everyone how they suffer. Oh, the showrunners have fun too. The hours keep going up. They love this. It's the right kind of entertainment. While number 5 is literally losing it, she's hallucinating, number 2 has had it. This is not worth it. First of all, what's money worth if they're gonna be dead at the end of the day? Second of all, she, the number 8, the girl she doesn't really like, is not worth her dying. She starts walking towards the intercom to just spend all the time that it's left, and they could go out. But number 6 stops her, and he tries to reason with her that, have some patience. We're going to figure this out. Number 2 is skeptical though. How will we figure this out? There's no way. But number 1 lunges at her legs, and he is begging her to not spend the time. He needs to get that money before he goes out. Number 3 is thinking the same. Out there, all there is sharks. He's not ready to go out either. Poop. Number 3 has a solution. He's gonna be the one who is gonna store all the shit, all the poop. That's the whole problem. The problem is that he was not man enough or courageous enough to take the shit, to make his room the toilet. He was the worst at the talent show, but now he's gonna do it. He's gonna step up to the occasion, and he's gonna store the shit of everyone. That's how number 8 is gonna be happy. She's gonna give them food, and that's it. He's giving this speech and secretly screaming inside because that's not what he really wants to do, okay? But at this point, he's willing to do anything to get some food into him. He's gonna die. I'll help you. I'll keep some of the bags as well. Number 4 also feels bad. She also did poorly in the talent show, and she should also be the one to volunteer to make her room toilet or keep the shit. She kneels next to number 3, and they are both crying and being all emotional, sacrificing themselves to store the poop and save everyone. They start walking towards room number 8, but number 7 stops them. Look, guys, it's all good, This is thank you for volunteering, but I think I should go and talk to her because you two are a little bit emotional right now, and she does not respond well to emotions. It's better if I go upstairs and, we can try to save this thing. Number 3 and number 4 don't seem as happy to do it because he just took their moment of sacrifice, but, they also get it. It's better for number 7 to talk to number 8 because they are desperate. Number 7 knocks on number 8's door. Hey, number 8, we are barely surviving and we wanted to apologize. It has come to our attention that we missed some things when it came to voting. You were brilliant in the talent show, and they are very grateful. They never should have insulted her with that vote. Also, number 3 and number 4 volunteered to store the poop, and they are apologizing profusely for putting you in this situation. Excellent. I knew that vote was a joke. Number 8 opens the door and lets number 7 in. I mean, it really didn't make sense. Why would you vote for little old me? Number 7 is a little bit perplexed. Number 8 is not angry, she's not upset, she's not yelling. Matter of fact, she is quite good. She's in her aerobic yoga poses. She stretches, she feels carefree. Everything is good. You see, number 8 doesn't do negative energy. It makes you age quicker, and she doesn't want to get wrinkles. But she does feel relieved. She was worried that maybe she was being a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, they get it. She did what she needed to do. Namaste. All of this makes her feel refreshed. She loves this place. How they make them play with each other to earn money. So fun. She wishes she could never leave. She also suspects that giving them a break from food and water probably earned them some time, right? Can she buy herself some new clothes with it? They can take it as a way of apology. Yes, of course. Number 2 and number 3 are not happy about it. The F, she starves them, and now she's going to use that time to buy herself new clothes. What the F is wrong with this woman? But number 7 reminds them that this is actually the best that it could turn out. It is good that they were the ones who went to her first. You see, if it was the other way around, They would be her servants. She could make them do whatever she wishes because they were so desperate. The fact that they were the first to propose the solution gave them the control, at least for now. Number 3 reflects, yeah, we're lucky she is not even more cruel. We're lucky all she cares is about new clothes. Does she though? Or will number 8 want more? Whew, people. Ooh. I mean, that's the thing, right? You think things are fair. You think there's a democracy. You have the belief, the hope of it. But how much are we actually considered? And how much are we just at the mercy of those above us? What's your thought on this? Is there something that makes you go like this? This totally reminds me of yadi-da-di-da. Let that yadi-da-di-da sing in the comments. Now, things go a bit dark from this point on, but we're going to talk about it in the next video when it comes to the 8th show. In the meantime, we're doing analysis of some other shows. So if you're interested, subscribe, comment, like, it helps the channel and it helps me be motivated to do this. Check this out. And remember, trust your individuality.